Hello everyone, Squared Circle Wrestling is back with another episode which includes Vince McMahon and WWE sued by former writer for racism in scripts. WWE employees might be losing their jobs. Top AEW star assures fans he'll be back in AEW. Huge AEW backstage meeting between Chris Jericho and CM Punk took place. Alexa Bliss opened up about her dating experiences. Wrestling legend provides update on Bray Wyatt's WWE status. And much more. You can check the complete list with time chapters in the description box below. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest news. Our top story for today looks at Vince McMahon and WWE sued by former writer for racism in scripts. WWE and Vince McMahon are being sued by a former writer over racist scripts. She called it as offensively racist and stereotypical jargon in scripts. The complaint was filed at U.S. District Court on behalf of Brittany Abrahams, according to Bloomberg. World Wrestling Entertainment Inc. Vince McMahon and other executives allegedly discriminated and retaliated against a black female writer for objecting to offensively racist and stereotypical jargon used in the scripts of black wrestlers including Bianca Belair and Apollo Crews, according to a new lawsuit. She was allegedly subject to a number of racist pitches after complaining. On a Slack thread that McMahon and his daughter Stephanie McMahon were included on, other writers suggested a black male wrestler should dress in drag. Only when a white writer noted that doing so could perpetuate harmful stereotypes that would offend viewers was the pitch scrapped. On another occasion, a writer allegedly proposed that a Muslim wrestler's secret in a script be that he was behind the 9/11 attacks. Abrahams and other writers complained about the comments, to which Vice President Christine Lebrano allegedly responded, "Wacky things are said in the writer's room all the time." Abrahams opposed the racist sexist pitches and was subsequently fired in 2022. WWE fired her for talking with her a WrestleMania 38 branded chair, but the practice was allegedly a common practice that white male writers weren't punished for. She is seeking reinstatement, damages, declaratory judgment, and an injunction restraining defendants from engaging in such unlawful conduct. What is your take on this? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, WWE returning to a strict brand split. WWE is heading towards this year's drafts and have assured that this will shake the foundation of the company. Ringside News stated, WWE is going for a hard brand split this time around for the 2023 draft. We asked why the company is going this direction and were told that the networks are a major factor in this decision. Next up, Braun Strowman suffers concussion. There is a sad news about the former WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman. As reported by PW Insider that Strowman suffered a concussion injury and will be out of action for an unknown time period. Former WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman is currently out of action after suffering a concussion, multiple WWE sources have confirmed. Strowman was scheduled for this past weekend's live events teaming with Ricochet against the Viking Raiders, but was pulled from the road in order to heal. He wrestled the Raiders with Ricochet on the 21st of April edition of SmackDown, so the injury must have occurred there. There is no word yet how long he is expected out of action. Next up, Will Ospreay reveals when his NJPW contract expires. In a recent interview, former IWGP World Champion Will Ospreay reveals details on when his NJPW contract comes to an end. "My contract with New Japan is up next February, so from that point, who's not gonna want this kid who's dedicated to being a hard worker and wanting to put on the best quality of matches? The reason why I say no is because they don't impact my paycheck. I still get paid the same regardless. In my humble opinion, star ratings don't matter in terms of financial gain, but in terms of viewership. Because I'm this British kid who has done it on indie shows, I know that when my NJPW contract comes up, there'll be a fight for who wants the best 5-star wrestler right now. Which company you want to see Will Ospreay next? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, WWE employees might be losing their jobs. PW Insider stated that all WWE employees received an email from CEO of WWE Nick Khan which reads, "We are all fortunate to be 3 years, 1 month and 14 days removed from the moment where stay-at-home orders were put in place. Businesses shuttered, some permanently and sports seasons cancelled. Of course, at WWE and thanks to all of you, we continue to move forward, never missing a week of production in the safest way possible. As I have had the good fortune of meeting with so many of you over the last few months, it has become apparent to me that our business thrives on creativity and an unparalleled work ethic. All of us physically together is a part of that. As such, we will be going back to what has always been the case prior to COVID, which is a return to 5 days a week in office. Nothing replaces our ability to interact with one another as we collectively continue to build and represent our company. We will all connect better and be better." Monday, May 1st, 2023 will be the start of our full-time return to office. For those based in Stamford, our first group has moved to our new HQ and the rest of us will be there shortly. We thank you for your patience with this process. If you have not yet seen it, it is a spectacular workspace that we believe you will all be quite proud of. Thank you for all. PW Insider noted that this has developed a fear in the employees of losing their job. For some employees, there's also the fear that post-merger, they may be out of a job, and as if that wasn't stressful enough, now they will be back in the office full-time, compounding that stress. There weren't a lot of happy employees opening their emails. Next up, Jarrett thinks WWE missed the opportunity with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. In a recent interview, AEW superstar Jarrett spoke on the booking decision of Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He said, "This is something that Jerry Lawler, my dad, Jackie Fargo, handsome Jimmy Valiant, one time sat me down and kind of gave me this kind of mindset. There's something about a gut feeling, and sometimes promoters go with their gut. My gut still told me it would have been the right move. I don't think it would have hurt Roman. I don't think it would have hurt the bloodline. I don't think. If we wait a year, I don't think. Because we waited a year, there's gonna be that many more eyeballs. There's gonna be that much exponentially grown business. Although, he didn't do it this year, and we're gonna do it next year because of X, Y, and Z, that's still to be determined. I think my gut tells me they missed the opportunity. I may be wrong, but I may be right. We will see. It was a hell of a match, a hell of a finish, and it's funny how a lot of the audiences will say, oh, this run in there and that run in there. Well, they would never do that in the world title match. This match had been built and it's the WrestleMania main event of night 2, and they had 5 people run it. You talk about the layer upon layer upon layer, the screwjob of all screwjobs. Next up, top star assures fans he'll be back in AEW. Former NXT Tag Team Champion Kyle O'Reilly recently took to Twitter to provide an update on his AEW status. Yeah everyone, I'm good. Although I appreciate the concern. Like Arnold says in his famous, unmistakable quote that everyone knows and loves from the film The Terminator, he says I am going to come back. The former Ring of Honor World Champion had previously commented on his injury, so this is something that I've been dealing with. It's a nagging thing that I've been dealing with, specifically, pretty bad for the last 5 years. And the last few weeks of wrestling for me on AEW, I've been really banged up and just didn't know the extent of it until now. And I still don't know all the information, so I don't want to disclose exactly what's happening with me. Next up, AEW Dark Elevation comes to an end. It seems that AEW will be closing up with its YouTube show programming AEW Dark Elevation. The show was advertised as, don't miss the special and final episode of Elevation, it's Best of Elevation airing on Fight. The episode is throwing it back to some of the best matches that have graced our Monday nights over the years. The move can be directly linked to new Ring of Honor weekly programming and a new AEW 2-hour show which will air soon on Saturday night. Next up, huge AEW backstage meeting between Chris Jericho and CM Punk took place. In a recent update on big AEW backstage meeting between Chris Jericho and CM Punk, PW Torch noted, the parties have already gotten together, perhaps last Friday. This may have been the reason for Punk's visit to Tampa, Florida, which finished on Punk catching the same flight back to Chicago as WWE personnel, leading to him attending that night's Raw. PW Torch noted that it doesn't look like AEW CEO Tony Khan gave green signal on the Raw appearance, though this isn't being seen as a big deal. It was also noted, sources indicated that the Punk, Jericho, FTR meeting went well. However, the sources from Fightful Select has reported, the meeting was relatively uneventful all things considered. Despite the duo's well-publicized problems, including Jericho calling Punk out after brawling with the Elite at All Out 2022. Next up, Alexa Bliss opened up about her dating experiences. Former Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss recalled how she was terrified of boys during her teenage years. She said, I remember my first boyfriend, like my first high school boyfriend. His name was Matt, he was in a band, and he was like so cool. My parents hired his band to play my 15th birthday party. He was the lead singer. He had the long skater hair. He did the hair flip anytime he'd look at you. And then after my birthday he said, will you be my girlfriend? And I just go, I have to ask my parents because you're older than me. I was just terrified of boys. Like, I couldn't do it. My dates were always just so embarrassing. Next up, Kurt Angle speaks about WWE erasing Chris Benoit from history. In the latest episode of The Kurt Angle Show, WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle spoke on WWE deleting Chris Benoit completely from history. He said, 5 of my 10 best matches were with Chris, but obviously they want to keep him under wraps and it's unfortunate. The thing is, if they erase Chris Benoit's career, they're erasing a lot of my career. I understand why they did it. But what about the other wrestlers that competed against Chris? You're taking those matches away, and you're just not mentioning the name, Chris Benoit. Anytime we have any videos that surface up on WWE television, you're never going to see Chris. Next up, Edge revealed he refused to end Undertaker's WrestleMania streak at 15-0. During a recent interview on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, former World Heavyweight Champion Edge spoke on the idea of having him defeating The Undertaker and ending his undefeated streak at 15-1. He said, when it was brought to my attention, or at least thrown by me as an option, I just thought no, because it was just as important as the World Championships at WrestleMania, so why take away one of our marquee attractions? Next up, Edge reveals when he wants to hang up his boots. WWE Hall of Famer Edge told Logan Paul's Impulsive show that retirement is on his mind these days. He said, at most, I might have another year in me to be able to do it at this level and still be able to do it at an elite level where I can still hang. Next up, wrestling legend provides update on Bray Wyatt's WWE status. On Keepin' It 100 podcast, wrestling legend Conan gave an update on Bray Wyatt's WWE status. Conan was asked, "Have you heard a lot of good things about Bray Wyatt?" To which Conan replied, "No, but I do. Somebody told me this in WWE, one of the wrestlers, that there's something wrong with him physically. So, I don't know if he's injured or what, but yeah." Next up, details on Roderick Strong signing with AEW. Talking about Roderick Strong making his AEW debut this week on Dynamite, Sean Ross Sapp reported that Roderick Strong appeared on AEW's Dynamite. The former NXT wrestler came to the aid of his Undisputed Era ally, Adam Cole. Strong had been absent from WWE TV for several months, and the company had been tight-lipped about his status. There were reports that WWE had considered having him coach through the rest of his deal, but it's unclear if that pitch ever made it to him. WWE talent we spoke to revealed that they believed his contract was set to run until the following year, but this information has not been officially confirmed. Recently, 2K was instructed to remove Roderick Strong from their wrestling game. WWE talent we spoke to said they had not received any updates from the company regarding Strong's status, and he had not been seen at the WWE Performance Center for some time. However, sources close to Strong stated that he was doing well physically and was cleared to wrestle. And that is all for today's news. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Squared Circle Wrestling for all the latest updates.